Hi everyone. So I have some new graphics and stuff for spooky season and the darker part of the year. I think I'm gonna keep this for a while, this overlay for a while until I don't know, until I feel like it. I like it. It's so cute. So yes, Luke, I have started the past life challenge. I did my archetypes yesterday and like part of the identity. All right, so I'm going to start off with the community read. As always, I feel like pulling out some more of the divine blessings, so I'm going to be using that for the community read. And then I will be using the This Might Hurt Tarot for the main readings. If you would like a larger, more in-depth reading, you can use my tip link. In the description. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our community read. Also, happy Samhain, guys. Happy Halloween. If you guys did anything fun, let me know. I kind of had a chill night because it's been a long week and I just needed some time to myself. I dressed the cats up though, which you can see on my YouTube. So make sure you go and comment and tell them that they look really cute, guys. All right, let's see what our community read is. What's our first card here? Oh my gosh, look at this guy. This is the trust card. It says you're born with an inner wisdom that can guide you through life's challenges. Trust yourself and trust your intuitive insights. You're strong, wise, and capable of making the right decisions for yourself. Ooh, I love that. So I feel like the start and theme of this reading is going to be all about trust, trusting ourselves, trusting our abilities, trusting that we have the skills to do the things that we are wanting to do. Let's see what our next card is. Ooh, we have the fox here. This is contentment. So this is appreciate the simple things and don't get caught up in unattainable expectations. Contentment is being satisfied and fulfilled with what you already have and are. I know I struggle with this a lot. I sometimes conflate feeling content with feeling lazy or complacent, which isn't necessarily the case. Like, I feel like sometimes we're allowed to bask in all of the results of the hard work that we've put in. And it's just a reminder to trust that we'll know when it's the right time to not be, you know, to be complacent, not to be complacent, rather. And then we have letting go. This is our little happy polar bear here. This is release control and allow yourself to flow with the natural rhythm of life. When you let go, you create space for new opportunities and free up energy to focus on what truly matters. I definitely relate to that struggle. I like the theme of this where the center of the reading here is about contentment. And to be content, you have to trust that you've put in the right work, you put yourself in the right position, and then you also have to kind of like let go of the reins a little bit, go with the flow, just kind of let things happen how they're going to happen. You've already done all the legwork, so reap the rewards, so to speak. I like the animal imagery in this too. That's what really sold me. This lion here is really what sold me on this deck. It's a little glossy for live streams. You see that high gloss, but you guys are seeing my images well, and I've figured out my light, so it's fine. But yeah, so that is our theme. So as we go about our readings today, guys, keep that in mind, and keep that in mind as we go into the weekend as well. Well, it's available for you, Luke. Alrighty, we have some people in the queue already. Unicorn, you are up first. Please make sure you don't put your questions in until I call you, just because I really don't like to have to scroll up. And sometimes if I'm in the middle of the reading, I might miss you having posted. So, Unicorn, go ahead, post your question in the chat. And then following Unicorn, we have Sandy and then Mariana. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. Well, for the low, low price of whatever this costs, it could be yours, Luke. Oh, I forgot. I don't do third party readings. So I'm not going to look into how anybody's feeling, what anybody thought about whatever. So if you'd like to rephrase that, feel free. Or if you want to do a different question, that is cool too. Yeah, that's a newer rule on my page. I realize I just don't like doing them. It feels invasive and unfair to the person. Um some readers will do it. I'm not a fan of it. That's okay, Luke. I kickstarted a lot of stuff this year. Um which is kind of why I was hesitant on the Beetlejuice deck. I figured I could get it later. Well, you can either rephrase it on. Well, let me see. Oh yeah, I don't think you can rephrase that. Yeah, sorry. But if you like, you can put a different question in. So I'm pulling out the This Might Hurt Tarot. I really think that it would pair really well with the Divine Blessings. So we'll see. We'll see what I think. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's see what you can expect for the month of November. Oh no, my screen. Oops. Goodness. I feel like I might have to get a new screen soon, and I'm not looking forward to it. All right, let's see, Unicorn, what you can expect for the month of November. Let's see what November has for you. One more. There we go. Okay, so November is very much so about finding balance. Let me move some stuff around real quick so you guys can better see the cards. That's good. So November is definitely going to be about finding balance. You have the Four of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and Temperance. This feels more like that. So, um, I'm gonna actually start on the edges and then talk about the Five of Swords. So the Four of Pentacles, this is about like balancing the resources you have, the energy that you're putting out into the world, or that like the outside world requires of you. This can be like literal in the sense of making sure you're not overspending, make sure that you are basically balancing your finances in the way that they need to, but this can also apply to your health. This can apply to your family life. So this is just the stuff in the physical world, how it affects you, and you finding balance and reservation and being, it kind of goes back to a little bit to our community read, but being conservative in that respect. So basically deciding where you're going to put your time and energy when, something comes up. So On the other side, we have temperance. Temperance is also asking us to find that, or asking you rather, to find just that middle ground. Don't sway too hard in one direction. Whatever you've been doing, just kind of keep a slow and steady pace. And basically just find that control in regards to anything that pops up throughout the month. I don't see anything crazy popping up, but with the 5 of swords here, the 5 of swords, and I reversed it just because of how it's playing with the pentacles. Um the 5 of swords really like suggests that there's a lot of ambition, right? But sometimes it's not in a very focused or healthy kind of way. So it ends up being more so like, well, how can I get ahead? And like, I will do anything at any cost to get ahead or to get my goal or whatever. So I think that this month, I think November is supposed to be a still month for you where you sit with things. How have you tackled things in the past that you've really, really wanted? And how can you maybe perhaps tackle them a little better going forward? So this feels very much like not necessarily an introspective month, but more so like a month that is asking you to just slow down a little bit, take your time, reassess your physical, reassess the paths you've been taking, and how can you just keep a more steady pace for the month so that way you can kind of overcome this 5 of swords energy here. This really suggests that there is really stuff that you kind of want to start to reconcile with, things that have been on your mind a lot. So I think that's really what November is. And I think it doesn't seem as ominous as it might sound. I know like the idea of slowing down during like the holidays when things are getting busy kind of seems like it's not going to happen. So it's just make some time for yourself when you can, where you can. And when you feel yourself like being pulled too far in one direction or another, make a concerted effort to just keep a nice slow and steady pace. I really feel like this fits with the letting go card we had in the community read. Kind of slow and steady and go with the flow. Hi Whimsically, hi Ari. Alrighty, Sandy, go ahead, put your question in the chat. You're welcome, Unicorn. Sandy, can you elaborate more? Like what do you want to know about work? Is there something specific happening? Oh, make sure you guys like this video. It helps other people find me, helps with the algorithm. um, and don't forget to go to my community post on YouTube and tell the Space Cadets you like their costumes. So, just kind of like how the job search is going, or what actions you need to take, advice. What what are you looking for in regards to job search? Okay, awesome. Let's see what advice we have for you for the job search. I swear we should get paid for searching for jobs. That in and itself feels like a job. All right, let's see. Ooh, these are looking nice. Let's see. Last card, last card. Okay, wonderful spread here. So we have the Queen of Cups, the two, oh my God, the two, the World, and then the Two of Wands. This is actually really, really positive. So I think that this there's a few things going on. So I'm going to start with the World because it's your major arcana and it's in the middle of your reading. So I think there's like two things. One is kind of, I'm going to take this literally, where it's like the world is your oyster. Don't limit yourself on what you're applying for. If there's something that you feel like maybe you're only just qualified for, or maybe just a little under, apply for it anyway. um I feel like this is saying the world is going to see you better than maybe you feel like the world will. So go ahead and put yourself out there, or in this case, put your application out there and let the hiring teams make that decision. So don't limit yourself. But then also, the world is the end of the major arcana. This is the sign that the journey is coming to an end, the end of this cycle anyway. So maybe you're going to start to get some actual feedback coming soon in regards to interviews, offers, that kind of thing. And you just kind of have to be a little patient in that regard. So I think it'll be sooner rather than later, but if you're looking for like that special one, you might need to be a little patient. So going over here, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups, she is both confident in how she puts herself out there, but also intuitive in terms of knowing what she needs to show people and when of herself. So um this card to me is really saying like you have what it takes to connect with people. The Queen of Cups is very emotionally connected. So she does a really good job connecting with others, very charming and warm and inviting. Um all queens have this nurturing energy, but the Queen of Cups especially is very emotionally connected to people. So I think that if you get when you get to the point of interviewing and stuff like that, make sure you lean into that. Don't feel like that is a hindrance. Don't feel like your emotional side is gonna set you back in any kind of way, because the queen became the queen in understanding and accepting and putting her best foot forward in regard to that side of herself. So conversely, on the other side, we have the Two of Wands. This card is all about planning, making decisions. The twos indicate like choices needing to be made. So to me, that tells me like as these applications process and stuff like that and interviews start to happen, you're going to have to decide what's right for yourself. So I will say, like, in terms of all of that, in terms of being able to decide what's right for you, lean back onto the that queen energy. Understand the queen knows what she needs. She understands what will bring her happiness. So um don't rush through that decision making process. It's at the very end of your reading, so I feel like this is saying sit with it a little bit. You're going to come back, and especially considering how the economy is, a lot of people are just like, I'll just take whatever I get, right? But you have time, and you can be honest and with yourself and just say, I need time to sit with this offer. And I'll give you an example. When I was applying for the job that I currently have, I had three different offers. One came in first, and I waited. It wasn't a bad offer. It was like about what I was getting previously at my previous job. It would have just been like a lateral move, meaning I would have gotten different experience, which is still beneficial. But I was like, okay, I'm going to wait. I waited it out until the job that I have currently. And not only was it different experience in a similar field, but it was a lot more money. So you know, when you get to that point, make sure you're making the right decisions for you and not for the company. It's all about this is about bettering yourself. So, um yeah. Ultimately though, it looks like you have some good options coming your way. Just you just got to get to that point. Welcome 4. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I get it. It's hard with applications and it's exhausting. So you think like, oh, I'm only maybe minorly qualified, so why bother? But don't sell yourself short. You'd be surprised. Alrighty, Mariana, you are up next. So I have in the queue, I have whimsically Ari and 4. So I think that's everyone. Um, if you if I missed you somehow, just make sure you use exclamation point join to join the queue. Okay, let's see if Christian's Lies and Secrets come out in November. All right, next one. Oops. All right, last card. Come on. Here we go. Feel like this is kind of a yes or no here. Where and what I mean by so you got the star, strength, and 8 of swords. So what I mean by that, I feel like maybe things will come to light, but not in the way that you hoped. So this feels more like that. Mirrors this better. Um so I think things will come to light and it might be the information that you're aware of, but I don't think it's going to be received in the way that you're hoping it will be received by, I guess, your community at large, I guess I'll say. So whatever you're hoping for, I don't think it's going to turn out exactly the way that you're hoping for. And this reading is really inviting you to be strong through that process. Um, it's requiring you to tap into whatever inner strength that you need in order to get through it and get past it because you risk falling into this 8 of swords energy here, essentially um pulling yourself into anxiety. So I don't think that this is going to be something that others put on you. I think this is going to be your reaction to how things turn out, which feels counter to what you're hoping for. So yes and no. Yes, in the sense like, yeah, I think things will come out, but no, because I feel like you're hoping that it comes out in a way that, kind of reveals this person to be a liar and bad person or something, but I don't really see that happening. Um, these are generally fairly positive cards, uh, or not positive cards. This one's not necessarily positive in this aspect, but these two felt more positive against what you were looking for. Yeah. But I will say, so with the strength card in the middle, if I were to give any advice based off of what I'm seeing in the cards, Just be strong through it. And don't let yourself fall into this trap of insecurity and anxiety, and um try to distance yourself from it as much as you're able to. Good luck. All right, Whimsically, you are up next. Let's see. Let me give it a good shuffle going. All right, Whimsically, let's see if you should leave your current friend group. All right, last card. So you have the Four of Swords, the Three of Pentacles, um, and the Three of Wands. So one second, I want to look up the numerology of these threes. I feel like threes are about like community and stuff like that, but I am so bad at at my numerology, guys. So threes are growth, creativity, and expression, but I do also feel like there's that element of community in them as well. So I think that you are wanting to make a bit of a hasty decision. So I want to say that this is generally a no for what you're asking, but I won't say that it's necessarily a no forever. I think this is asking for there to be some work that's put in first before you make your final decision. So on one side of things, we have the Four of Swords. This card really asks us to sit and contemplate things, right? There's an element that this feels a little reversed. So there's an element of restlessness that's happening where you're just like, I want to get out of this. I want to move on from these people, blase, whatever, and just be done with them. But I don't think that's what tarot is asking of you right now. Really, instead, it's asking you to do the reverse of this. I feel like this is where you are right now, but I think that my advice to you actually is to reverse it, where you get more into that still contemplative state where you can really think through this situation, think through what's gone on, what you can do to better communicate going forward, and then you can start to make some like more sound decisions. So on one side here we have the Three of Pentacles. This is about teamwork. So this feels like where you're taking that communication and you were taking it back to the team. So in this case, your friend group. And maybe you'll be surprised but by what this brings up. And realize that maybe you're not the only one that had these feelings, and um it's worth the effort, right? Or let me back up. If this friend group was something that was really important to you at one point in your life, perhaps it is worth the effort. That's really up to you to decide. Um and that is oh okay, so they are nice, but they make you feel left out. And maybe just verbalizing this and talking through things, you realize like maybe there's a rational reason for it. Maybe they don't realize that it's happening. Maybe they've been friends slightly longer and it's just a natural way of things. And if you tell them, they can make a concerted effort to do better. Just throwing out ideas. I mean, that's outside of tarot. So, and then on the other side, we have the Three of Wands. This is where I feel like there's a lot of activity. And this is why I feel like you should probably stick with it a little bit. Just so swords are about communication. There's like this element of passion and warmth here with the wands, but then there is the stability here in the very center of your reading with the pentacles. So while you feel a little unstable, something about this is actually very stable. It's just not being communicated to you for some reason. um the Three of Wands is about looking ahead, right? So when you think about it, if when you look ahead, would you like to see your friend group there? If they're people that you kind of just met and it's maybe the juice is not worth the squeeze, maybe not. But if you do look ahead and you think like, oh, these are fun things I would love to do with them. These are things that you know, we've talked about doing, something like that, then I think that it's worth the effort to sit and talk with them. So I'm going to say this is a yes or no, yes and no kind of thing. Mostly no, because I think that right now it's saying no, you need to talk to them and see um and work together on this. Hi, Crown. Alrighty, up next is Ari. Then I have four, and then Miss Ishi. Did I miss you? I didn't see you join. I'm sorry. Hi, Miss Ishi. I think I was doing a reading. And then after Miss, I have Crow. You can post it with your join. I'm gonna ask you again. Anyways, just to make sure you're here, and uh that way if there's anything I need clarification. It's fine if you post it with the join. But yeah, I will ask you again just as a heads up. You're welcome, whimsically. And guys, don't forget again, like this video if you've been enjoying the video, and let me know what you think about the new little like overlay. I think it's so cute. I got it on sale on Etsy. Alrighty, Ari, go ahead, put your question in the chat. All right, let's go on to four. Four, go ahead, post your question in the chat. So, I'm doing a Halloween party tomorrow, and uh, I was scrolling on TikTok, and this guy was like, why do all women dress up for Halloween as one of these like five things?" And it was like from five to like one, with one being the most popular, and one was the one that I was gonna do. So now I'm like, what should I do? I felt so called out. Yeah, four. Let's see. Message from Spirit. All right, message from Spirit. Oh, our first repeat of the night. One more. All right, come on. Last card, last card. Here we go. Hmm. So you have the Seven of Pentacles, Strength, and the High Priestess. I just I just absolutely love this High Priestess card. I see a lot of like the High Priestess as being like one facet of myself, so I really love that. I know whimsically, it really like it cracked me up, and now I'm just like, oh no, I'm second guessing everything. So I'll just start from the beginning and work my way down. I feel like right now the universe and spirit's just really telling you like now's the time for a bit of hard work, right? So putting in some work in if you've been really wanting to get some stuff done, now is a good time to do it. So the 7 of Pentacles, excuse me, hold on. Ooh, excuse me. So the 7 of Pentacles is really about being diligent, and it's like saying like if you've been doing something, now's not the time to slow down on that. Keep steady on your pace. Pentacles always have that air of stability happening, so I think that this is saying, you know, what you've been doing, keep doing. And then it transitions into the Strength card where it's saying, you know, you've been doing this, be strong, don't ease up yet, because now's not the time to do it. So strength doesn't necessarily it almost rarely is like actual physical strength. It's more so like the strength of mind to keep going, the inner strength to tap into to that last bit of energy, the mental fortitude to not give up when things are getting a little monotonous or getting boring or repetitive, stuff like that. And then on the flip side, it's also saying that perhaps now's the time to um get more in touch with your spiritual side. So I don't know if that necessarily that can manifest in a few different ways, right? So if you have deities you worship, it could be that getting in touch with your ancestors or getting in touch with oneself. Um for example, like mm, sorry, I'm lost for words here. I guess the best way to explain it is like connecting with one's higher self. So the high priestess is intuitive. She is really in tune with the spiritual side of herself and really, therefore, has that deeper connection beyond the physical world that we live in, right? So the high priestess, I mentioned, I'll give an example if you're unfamiliar. So, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like the high priestess is one facet of me. I feel like it comes up a lot in certain aspects when it comes to spirituality because I feel like she is a representation of my witchcraft and my divination. So that's the stuff that I'm saying look into. This she'll pop up when there's a need for me to reconnect with my ancestors, stuff like that. So um I think that things are fine. I wouldn't freak out. If things don't feel fine for you, I think that there is just you balancing out the work that you are putting in right now in regards to the 7 of Pentacles. But ultimately, I feel like Spirit saying like, "Hey, you got this. You have the inner strength to keep moving. This is like the core of your reading. So, when you're feeling a little despondent or just feeling like you're struggling a bit, then tap into that inner strength." And then tap into that intuitive side of yourself as well that we get from the High Priestess. Alrighty, Miss Ishi, you're up next for let me know how if you have any questions or anything like that. But otherwise, good luck. You're very welcome. So I can see what things look like for you guys in the future, but I won't look into if he'll trust you again. That's his business. um oof, there we go. All right, let's see. Let's see what things are looking like for you guys. And just understand the future is nebulous. I try my best to give some actionable advice to get you there, but at the same time, things change and people have free will. So just keep that in mind. Huh, that's a card that flipped over and tried to jump out at me. Last card. Oof. Last card, last card. I'm definitely out of practice shuffling. My God, I take a few weeks off and I shuffling like a monster. What an interesting combo. So we have the Hermit, Five of Wands, and the Fool. Um, no, I don't think you guys are getting back together. And I think in trying to do so is going to lead to a lot of fighting. So the Five of Wands, this is really where it's just feeling like constant arguing. Everything is just kind of it's a very what's the word? It's a very volatile energy that's happening with that Five of Wands and being at the core of the reading and what you're asking for. I think you could possibly, there's always a possibility for these things, but I don't think this is going to turn favorable in any kind of way. And then surrounded by these two cards, these are major arcana. This is where really the impactful part of your reading. So the core to me in this case, in your reading specifically, the core here is giving me the theme, and then these wings here are telling me what's going to be impactful based off of what your question was, right? So the hermit invites us to explore a little bit of ourselves, be a little introspective, sit with ourselves. And I think what this means is ask yourself why you want to get back together, right? So, what is it you're missing so desperately that you would want to get back together and put up with this kind of energy? And kind of sit with that for a little bit. This is something that is probably, I won't say like a lifelong journey, but it's definitely something that's a continuous journey until you get to that like breakthrough. The Fool, on the other hand, is inviting you to step into something new. And I don't mean that necessarily to step into a new relationship or anything like that. I mean literally like just find something new that better serves you. Um and I think I'm going to move this a little bit to be more like that. I think if you look at it, right? These guys are looking back. This is about looking back on the relationship. Were you kind of looking back on it with rose colored glasses and just kind of wanting it back because either, things went wrong, you think you can fix them, but how realistic is that, right? The Hermit really suggests that as you're looking back, look within yourself and see, how did you really feel during that phase? Was it happy? Was it like, was it good for you in any kind of way, right? And then the Fool, also facing the same direction as this Hermit, is as you're going through this introspective journey, what are you discovering that like there are points where you should have just taken like a bit of leap of faith into something that better serves you, or something that truly makes you happy, or something you were looking forward to doing and maybe has no long-term relevance other than it was something exciting at the time. So yeah, I want to say that for will you guys get back together? I don't think so. I think that it's time for bigger and better things for you. So, Shamila, uh, use exclamation point join. And please don't post your questions before I ask for them. Thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of majors. Well, we did just pass Samhain. That is, some people look at it as like the witch's new year, where it kind of marks the beginning of the year to set like intention and to start with a clean slate and stuff like that. So maybe it's all of that energy running up, rubbing off on us as a community. All right, Crow, you are up next. Go ahead, put your question in the chat. Oh, and just because I see your question, I don't do third party readings. If Anis is with Huma, that's their business. So when the time comes, feel free to ask a different question. All right, Jessica, let's see what's coming in love for you. Oh, Crow, your name is Jessica. Lovely. Let's see what the near future holds for love for you. Our repeat card is back again. Ooh, and you're a Leo. Look at that. Okay. Let's see. Next card. Five of Wands again. But the Six of Wands. Interesting. Are you on dating apps? So we have the Strength, Five of Wands, and Six of Wands. Okay. What's with this Five of Wands here? Let me sit with this for a second. So this is interesting. In my lives, every once in a while, I get readings where I'm like, 3 cards isn't enough, but I just don't have the time to do more. And this feels like one of them. So the Strength card feels very much like you, and then feels very much like a journey that's happening. Five of Wands is, so in the last reading it was a little different. In this reading, it feels more like competition, having to face off a little bit with other people, but at the end, which is kind of why I was wondering if you were on apps or not. But the Six of Wands is victorious. So here you see yourself starting off the journey and by yourself, but then marching into victory. But there's nothing here. I can pull one more, but it just, I don't know, feels like a little expansion needs to happen on this as well. So I'm not going to pull for that, but I'll pull one more card for the end, like what this Six of Wands is marching towards. Let's see. Getting there. Let's see. What's that last card? Doesn't feel right, but so Five of Swords mimics this 5 here. Definitely feels like more. And I think I'm trying to pigeonhole this into a live stream style reading, but I don't have the time to do so. So let me just read for you. Um, Starting off with the strength card, I feel like it's more of a signifier of you than I feel like is necessarily the archetype of the strength card. But overall, the strength card is really just saying that you have the inner fortitude to take part in this journey, and it's because of this 5 of wands here, where you are kind of in competition. So it feels like maybe wherever you are, there are fewer good guys in the pool than there are good women. So therefore you're competing with a lot of other women for a lot of the same guys. Um but ultimately with the 6 of wands, the 6 of wands is, I love the natural transition here, right? We're going from the 5 to the 6. Despite the competition, you still stand out. There's an air of like um emerging victorious in that, but then you're also faced with the 5 of swords on the other side, so there's a little bit of like mental turmoil that is mirroring the external. So it feels very much like it's an up and down battle. And I'm sorry, this feels very incomplete, but I don't have the time nor energy to explore it. So what I recommend honestly is, um if you take note of this, sit with it a little bit, come back next week and I can elaborate some more. So I can look more so in this 5 of wands and I can see a little bit more of the outcome, because I feel like this feels like the transitional period. Um but you're still starting to see good things happen. But there's so what that means to me is it feels very much like, you probably have a few suitors, but no like one person. I don't know. It's so strange. Thank you for understanding. I feel like every once in a while I get this like incomplete reading and I just kind of it's a me thing. I should definitely do some shadow work about it. But I don't like when things feel incomplete. So I think that's really what it is. But Jessica, I think that you have like the bones and foundations of a really good start, not start, but a really good near future, in a sense that you're starting to feel like you're being sought after or noticed in a good way. But there are still some other things, some divots to explore in that. So yeah, feel free, just remind me, because I mean, I'll forget what I had for breakfast. So thank you so much for understanding. So beauty and downside to live streams is the time constraints and not being able to like explore more in depth. Hmm. What do you mean, why can't you be with him? Did something happen that, like, did he say you can't be with him? What's telling you you can't be with him, I guess, is my question. Ooh, midnight, you joined the queue. Welcome. All right, I'm gonna close the queue. You're still in it. Don't worry. I just gotta, otherwise I'll be here all night. Hmm. Mm, so readers are saying you can't be with him, but have you tried? Have you guys spoken? Have you set something up? A little leery about that. Mm, I'll read on your question. I wonder if a better question is advice on how to go about it, but let's see what is going on. Yeah, I know. I'm almost done, Apollo. Yeah, Apollo is like, that's why I closed the queue. Apollo's just like, it's time to go, mother. All right, one more card. All right. You have the Four of Cups, the Tower, and the World. Tower felt more reversed. Give me 1 second. So, um, with the Four of Cups, I'm gonna just start and go in order. Um, I really think that you should at least try. I mean, I understand you like tarot, you kind of trust divination, but at the end of the day, the power resides in you to do these things. And I think so. The question was why you can't be with him, but I, th- I think it's a result of these tarot readings. Um, so you have the Four of Cups. This card is literally saying you're being presented with this thing, but now you're turning a blind eye to it. You're being apathetic about something being presented to you. And in doing so, you kind of have this barrier between you and the world. So this thing that you're being offered, that sounds so reducive to say it that way, but this person in your life that you're interested in, then we have a barrier, and then the world. The world card is the completion card. This is fulfillment. This is really like the kind of like the sailing into the sunset kind of card. But so I reversed the Tower because it feels more so like you are in this Four of Cups mode because you feel like you are avoiding a disaster, instead of just feeling things out and seeing how they go. Now, it may not last. It may not, whatever. That's kind of like a whole separate thing from here. But what this is about is how much power you're letting the readings have over you versus your own. And how much is it causing you to turn your back on possibly good things for you? So that's kind of what I see here. Yeah, and so let me elaborate a little more on the Tower. The Tower being at the center of your reading is really telling because it feels very much like, well, if I listen to these readings, then that means I'm avoiding disaster. I'm not going to cause myself any struggles. I'll be able to just avoid a whole situation. But the thing is, you don't know if that situation is actually going to happen. I always tell people when you get predictive kind of readings and stuff like that, the future is nebulous. You never really know how things are going to turn out. Um now so therefore I feel like it's worth a try and just see how things go. Hey Kamira, sorry my queue is closed, but I'll be back next week. But yeah, I mean, I think the why is really like somewhat, yeah, your own doing based off of answers you're being given. All right, Midnight, you are up next. Thank you for understanding, Kamira. You're welcome. Ooh, energy for next week. Let's see. Let's pull a blessings card. Energy for next week for Midnight. Look, this is how Apollo sees himself. And very serendipitous, the strength card, even in the Oracle. It's our repeat card of the night. So you are stronger than you think. You possess an inner strength and courage that can help you overcome any challenge. You have the inner strength required to navigate the situation. Ooh, interesting. So I feel like next week is going to bring some like trials and tribulations. Not that I won't say it that way. I feel like next week's just going to be like you're going to need a little bit of your own inner strength to get through. It doesn't necessarily mean trials and tribulations. I'm projecting. What? 2 nights? Should have been all pages knowing you. Just to mess with you. Last card. Hi, Debbie. Welcome. All right. So, along with your strength card, you have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups, and then you have the Emperor. So, uh next week is definitely going to be about finding some structure throughout the week to help you get through it. And that does require a little bit of strength. Let me read this again. Yeah. So in order to navigate next week, I think you're going to need to give yourself a little bit of structure, set some mini goals, like something very easy, like go for a walk or wash the dishes or something like that, where you can start you focus on that. But then at the same time with the nights, I think that the week is really asking you to be active. Don't sit around and, there are no swords here. So try not to sit around with your own thoughts. Whoa. Okay, camera. Interesting. There we go. So don't sit around with your own thoughts too much. Be active in a kind of way. I said no swords, but I meant outside of the nights. Sorry. I said that stupid. But so the Knight of Swords, mirroring the Emperor, if you're creating some structure, if you had some ideas pop up, go for them, try them out and see like how they are and if they're exciting. And ultimately with the Knight of Cups in the center of your reading, though, I feel like this is inviting you to be active and do things that make you happy. The Knight of Cups is very much so like follow your heart kind of knight, whereas the Knight of Swords is like follow the good ideas kind of thing. So the balance between the two. Notice they don't face each other, so there might be a little tug of war between those things. But if you create enough structure throughout your week, you can find the balance between both. Yeah, so if structure is what you're lacking, definitely create a plan. It doesn't have to be like, I'm not saying literally create an itinerary down to the hour of your entire week, but at least have an idea of certain things you want to do each day. If I don't know if the weather's been nice out there, but time to get out and enjoy fresh air, whatever that looks like for you. It looks a little different for everyone. So, yeah. Alrighty, Apollo, we're almost done. Yeah. I'm being told that I've been on live stream too long. They let me stay on once for like an hour and a half. That was crazy. He's not happy. Yay, I'm glad. I'm glad you have some ideas. Yeah, Apollo's like, we're supposed to be watching TV right now, mother. Like, get off. Actually, honestly, it's usually Luna that shows up. Um, alrighty, guys. So thank you for joining. Yeah, there have been some really great blessings that popped up. Um, I'm also surprised, Luke, that it's not Luna. So yeah, I will be back next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you enjoyed these readings, make sure you give me a like. I don't have to tell you guys to hit the subscribe button because you're all subscribed. And yeah, if you guys would like to join me over on Discord, feel free to join my Discord. Join us for our like monthlies and just fun divination discussions and some witchy discussions. Alrighty, guys, I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.